Hello and welcome to this computer lesson, and in this lesson I'm going to show you the difference between relative cell references and absolute cell references. And I'm going to use an example of items which are sold and they have a price. Like here you can see different days of the week and what was sold. There is a number of ways you can use to calculate now the amount, and probably it is just taking quantity multiplied by the price of each item. And if you are given a table like this, you can use what we call relative cell references to do the calculation very easily. For example, if I want the amount here to be calculated for Monday, I will just put equal sign, take my quantity in cell B5, multiply by the price in cell C5 and press enter. So I will be able to get 30. This process can go on and on and on downward like this. Like this one, I can just take again this quantity, multiply by price and press enter. Doing it manually like this will take a lot of time, especially if it is a long list with hundreds of rows. You can see it is tedious. That is the reason why we have what we call relative cell references. In relative cell references, after calculating the first value, you can check in the formula bar here. I am picking quantity from cell B5, then multiplying it with price in cell C5. If I point to this formula handle, this small dot or a small box at the bottom of this cell, and pull down this the formula, it will automatically calculate for me the rest using what we call relative cell references. Now you can check here. Here I am engaging B5 with C5, but if I click the answer for the row below, it switched to B6 automatically. So you can see it is adding a value here automatically in sequence, and that one enables us now to make the formula very easy by just pointing to the formula handle and pulling it down. However, in some cases, the way the data is structured, it is not possible to use relative cell references, and in that case you have to use what we call absolute cell references. Like in this case here, you can see since all the items have one price, you can as well just let one cell contain the price, then you remove the column for the price. Here we have the whole column with the repeating value 10, 10, 10, 10. We can as well remove that column and have a very simple table like this, then have price in one cell here. But you will get a challenge when you apply relative cell reference. For example, let me do here, put equal sign, take quantity, multiply by price here. When I press enter, you can see it is correct. It is picking from H5, which contains quantity multiplied by a value in K5, which is the price. But now if I apply relative cell referencing by just pulling down this formula handle, you can see it is not working, simply because it is picking from the cells below. The first one picked from K5, which is correct, it has 10, but the next amount here, you can see it has picked H6, which is correct, that is for Tuesday, quantity for Tuesday, but now it is picking a price from K6. K6 is here, which is blank. So in that case, what I need to do is to engage an absolute cell reference. What do I mean? This is what I mean. For the referencing in column H will be relative, but specifically for K5, I will have to ensure that referencing doesn't leave K5. And to do that, what I will simply do is to come and do the first calculation, then modify this calculation here in this formula by putting a $sign in this column so that it doesn't leave column K, and I will also put a $sign for the row 5 so that it doesn't leave row number 5. And this is how to do it. You do the first calculation, then you just come to the formula bar and go to the cell which you don't want shifting to occur to it. And in this case, it is cell K5. So I will go before column K and put a $sign like this, and also go before row 5 and put a $sign. By doing that, I will have changed the reference from being relative to absolute. And an absolute reference does not shift when the formula handle is dragged down or from left to right. So I will go ahead and press enter. So this is what will happen. If I now click this answer and pull down the formula handle, you can see these values are correct compared to the other ones. Why? Simply because you can see K5 is not left when shifting is being down, and also K5 it is not left. But notice in this other column it is changing. H7 is changing to H8, but K5 now does not leave this cell. So in short, this formula here contains relative cell references, but this other formula here contains one relative cell, and it also contains an absolute cell reference which has $signs. I will go ahead now and use data in this sheet to analyze some cells. We have a column which shows a salesperson who sold a particular brand of vehicle, and we only have 3 brands here: Toyota, Nissan, and Subaru. And a price for Toyota is 1, which is 10,000, Nissan 8, and Subaru 9. Then we also need to calculate taxes for the government at this rate, which is calculated on the cells. So I will go ahead here and insert another column here for the tax, so that I use it to show the tax which is collected. And this is what is going to happen. The first thing is I want to take these types of vehicles, the way they are scattered like this. I want to sort them so that I have all Subarus together, all Toyotas together, and all Nissans together. And to do that, I will have to do sorting. To do sorting, you have to select all the cells with data. Let me just complete this information here. This is number, cells ID, so I will go ahead and select all this information so that I can sort these rows according to the product column, this one. And the reason to do this is to ensure that all my Toyotas together, Nissan together, and Subaru together to make my calculation easier. So this is what I'm going to do once I select all the cells of interest. Remember, I left out total row because it is not a cell, or there is no salesperson there. So you only pick the rows with the right information. And I will simply come to sort here and choose custom sort. The A to Z sort will always sort according to the first row, which is the sales ID. But this custom sort will sort according to any column. You can use product to sort or even units sold. The other one, Z to A, largest to smallest sort, will also use the first column, which is the sales ID. Now I want to sort according to product, and I will have to use custom sort. This one will let me choose the column to sort with, and I want to use product, and I want to sort in any other way, A to Z, fine. Then I will click OK. Now you can see all my Nissans together, all Subarus together, and Toyotas together. Now doing calculation now will be very easy. I will just come and pick the number of units sold, multiply by the price of that brand, of that vehicle. So for Nissan, if I want to calculate sales, I will just put equal sign, pick my quantity sold, or the number of units, then I will multiply it by the price for Nissan, which is 8,000. And remember now, since I don't want, in this formula, I don't want to leave I5, which contains the value for Nissan, I will have to change this reference I5 to be absolute. And I can do it by just putting the $ before column I and before row I, row 5, and pressing enter. Now I can go ahead and drag it until I reach the end of Nissan's, which is there. So if I click the last amount, you can see it is sticking to I5 because it is an absolute reference. I will go ahead and do the same for Subaru, equal sign, pick the quantity here and multiply by the price for Subaru. Then I will go ahead and put $ before column I and row 6 to make that reference absolute. And I can go ahead and drag down for Subaru until there. And you can confirm from my last cell, it is sticking to I6, which contains the price for Subaru. Finally, I will just go again, pick the quantity for Toyota, multiply by price for Toyota, and make row column I absolute and row number 4 absolute, and press enter. And I will go and finish the calculation. I will now go ahead and calculate tax. You can see for Toyota the tax rate is different. For Nissan 20%, for Subaru 10%. And I will go ahead and do the same. Pick my cells, multiply by the tax rate for Nissan is 20%. So I will have to come and make this I absolute and 11 absolute, like that. Then I will now comfortably drag down for Nissan. And if I check the last formula here, you can see it is not leaving I11, and I11 is for Nissan, which is 20%. This is cell I11. Doing the same now for Subaru, equal sign, take the cells, multiply by, if the tax rate for Subaru is 10, then I will go ahead and put $sign to make that cell absolute reference, then press enter. Then I will pull down the formula handle, going to Toyota the same, pick the cells, multiply by, the tax rate for Toyota is 15%, and put $sign there, and also down there, and press enter. Then pull down the formula handle. That is correct. So finally, I will use relative cell references to do the totaling here. I will just come and apply sum, then select all the figures I want to sum and press enter. Then just apply the relative cell referencing by just pulling this handle to the right like this. Then automatically it will add the totals for the other column. That is how simple it is to use relative references and absolute references when analyzing data in MS Excel. Thank you for participating. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.